What is up, everybody, and welcome back to some Mobius Double F with your boy Robbie Dagger. And in this one, I am lucky enough to be reviewing the Warrior of Light Final Fantasy I Supreme card with you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Can't thank you enough. And before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe to show your support for this small Mobius Final Fantasy content creator. We make Mobius content at least once a week, every week. And usually way more than that, so thank you for showing your support by hitting that subscribe, sharing this video, all that good stuff. Let's get started. The Warrior of Light Final Fantasy I, we'll talk about the art first, by Toshitaka Matsuda. We've got, this artwork comes from the original, I want to say the original concept art for Final Fantasy I, and I like everything about it, honestly. I just don't know. I don't know. Somebody tell me where this dog came from. I love the dog on there. The little doggy of light with his armor on and shit, dude. That's freaking awesome. I don't know where the dog comes from. Whatever. Let's talk about this. So, when the world is shrouded in darkness, a warrior will come. I can't believe that's all it says under info, but that's fine. This card will provide you the ability of the Crystal's Blessing, which will give you a couple of things, which we'll talk about. We're going to focus on the new things that this card gives you, because there's some new mechanics that this card brings to the table that no other card in the game right now brings, basically. So, first thing it gives is Divine Shield. It gives you Ultimate Booster. Gives you enhanced elemental attacks 2, and then it gives you 4 stacks of Brave, Haste, 2 turns of Quicken for every cast. So let's break it down and let's talk about this really quick. What is this? What is all these new abilities? So the first new ability is Divine Shield. So Divine Shield works basically by giving you immunity to all damage for 1 hit per stack. So I have a short clip on that I'll show you in just a second, but basically it will keep 1 hit from hitting you. This can be helpful, especially when you're rocking slow, stun, all the combos. It's really helpful when you're fighting against one enemy, or if you're maybe slowing another enemy. It's not, something that's going to save you a turn or anything without you doing anything every time. But I do think that once you get used to this card, you're going to be able to use that Divine Shield to basically get you through all sorts of really cool stuff that you aren't really meant to or weren't really meant to. Let's just show the clip. In this clip here, you can really see how the gold shield can buy you some turns. So what I did was sleep. I put Ifrit to sleep, and then I'm going to take a hit from Belias here. And you'll see how the gold shield really kind of helps me out. As you can see right there, I just ate that damage, no problems at all. And I can continue the fight. Alright, so that's the Divine Shield buff. It is amazing. Next is the Ultimate Booster. What this does is basically gives you all actions. It makes it so that all actions increase the ability gauge by 1 unit. Job change isn't counted, so job switching isn't counted when you do that. This is pretty cool. It's basically like Ult Charger +1 on there when you cast the ability. I do wish it was more than 1 unit charge, because just having 1 unit of gauge charge isn't that impressive. But in a longer fight, it will come through for you and will make a big difference. The third ability we'll talk about is Enhanced Elemental Attacks 2. What this is basically 50% more Elemental Enhance on top of all other Elemental Enhance. So this does actually stack, which means you can use something like a Shift or a Force card before using, or after using the elemental, before using the Final Fantasy I card, to give you the elemental and attacks 2 buff, and you will have 50% more damage. More elemental enhance, which will give you more damage, basically. This will make more sense when I show you the example in battle, basically, but it is amazing. There's no other card that gives you enhanced elemental attacks too, giving you just higher potential damage than the average person, honestly, which is awesome and not to be scoffed at. And then the last ability we'll talk about is Prismatic Elemental Generator. Basically, if your orbs aren't full at the end of a turn, this will give you 2 extra prism orbs at the end of that turn. And then we'll quickly go over extra skills before we show this in battle. But basically, this is just kind of basic stuff, unfortunately. Enhanced life, lasting boons, quick cast, enhanced boons, extra life, duration boost. The best thing on here is ability ignition. You know, 25% more magic power when you use your next ability, so that's always good. And turning the page here, ignore these last 2 abilities, these last 2 auto abilities, because I put those on manually, but there's the Prism Elemental Generator, and then there's Magic Up plus 8%, which you'll have just standard on the card. Now let's show this thing off in battle. I'm going to be showing it in, it's just a knock fluke example. I don't, nothing super strong. Just want to make sure I can show you guys the buff.
I can still fight.
Wow, that was really quick. Okay, let's take it out of auto. Let's start that over, basically. Oh my gosh. Alright, here we go. Alright, so here it is. Here's the Crystal's Blessing. Let's take a look at it. So, a pretty nice animation, and then it also plays a little Final Fantasy, you know, melody all real quick there, which is, you know, it's cool. As you can see here, here's the ultimate booster. And we get 15 turns of this, so for the next 15 actions, we're going to have ult charge plus 1. This is just standard old haste, but we've got 4 turns of that. Attack up, 4 turns of that too. And then here is the enhanced elemental attacks. This is what's going to give me 50% more elemental enhance and more damage. And as you can see, you get 3 stacks of the standard, and you can carry it over and get those stacks up. I will say, okay, the last thing we'll talk about here is Divine Shield. And this is what I wanted to mention. I wanted to make sure I mentioned this. You can't not without a Light of Hope card, you can't like stack this up. You can't carry this over and like, you know, get like 4 or 5 stacks or whatever of Divine Shield. But everything else will stack. So keep that in mind, because you can actually continue to carry through your elemental enhanced attacks buff, which is awesome, actually. So yeah, man, let me know what you guys think about this card. Let's finish this out, and we'll talk about multiplayer really quick to finish the video. Alright, now let's talk about finding a space for this new card in your deck, because that's what I had the most trouble with when I first got this card. Considering it gives you new buffs that no other card in the game gives you, I needed to find a space for it, basically. So what I did note was this card does have haste, so you can kind of use it as your haste card. I find haste and faith to be like absolutely necessary buffs. Like usually haste, faith, boost is usually my bare minimum, so that's why I have the Warrior of Light card with the Knights of the Round card, because I do want my buffs still. But the only thing I'm getting from this is haste and attack up. So that's kind of where I am single player wise with this card for right now. As far as multiplayer goes, I had a lot of trouble slipping this into my deck too. But basically, the only card that I could justify replacing from the bare minimum deck that I always recommend, which is whatever your normal heart shift is, either Aerith, Racing Heart, or Gaia. And then I normally use tier Undying, which gives you haste, snipe, and is it drain? Yeah. So the only thing I could justify taking out was this card, because the only other thing, because you need your barrier, you need wall, you need all these buffs from Knights of the Round. You don't really need crit, I guess, so I guess I could take this out. But then I won't have snipe for my party. But, you know, the party will have the extra elemental damage 50%, or the extra 50% elemental enhance, so that could be good. It could kind of even out. And plus, you know, the gold shield, the ultimate charger is all good buffs to share with your party. Besides that, like for an attacker, I could see using this card in an attacker deck, but you're gonna wanna probably, I mean, this card's gonna cost you four heart orbs, so you might need to be using a shift or like an Aerith to get this card off before you use your attack card. So it is kind of gonna be difficult to find a place to slip the Warrior of Light card into your deck. If you have Lights of Hope, then you're perfect, because I think the perfect healing meta deck right now is Aerith plus Lights of Hope plus Warrior of Light's Final Fantasy 1. I think this is like the missing piece of that puzzle for as far as Lights of Hope goes. I think these Lights of Hope plus Warrior of Light goes together really, really well. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this new Final Fantasy 1 Supreme card. It's pretty incredible. The more I use it, the more I realize it's it's awesome. It's amazing. There's no other card in the game like this at all, and it's honestly a lot of fun to use, and it's one of those cards that every class in this game could benefit from. So I'm honestly loving it and having a lot of fun with it. If you have it, let me know how it's working out for you. I hope this little video was helpful for you guys. If it was, be sure to leave that thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. It was a pleasure being your host on this one. I hope to see you soon. Make sure you hit that subscribe on your way out. I know how easy it is to get lost in the internet and not be able to find your way back. Thank you all for being here on this one. Questions, comments, anything down below, leave it for me and I'll reply with you. Been a pleasure, and I'll catch you later.